Everyone here is someone who had an early night last night, unlike some of the other people. So I think what we should do is just to make a little sign to the stragglers. I know people will continue coming in. I know there are only a few of us, but if we can make as much noise as if there were twice as many, that would be a good way of getting some more people in. So. For my benefit, perhaps, how many people are here for the very first time today at PYCON UK? Okay. I'm going to run through this so that I don't have to say everything all over again, but welcome back. It's day 3. You are at PYCON UK. It is Sunday. You're in Cardiff, so just if you need some orientation. Thanks again to everyone who makes this possible, our team of organizers, our army of volunteers, our video team, also volunteers. We need some more camera operators, correct? Please come and see Danny over here if you think you have the wits available to point a camera in the right direction. And it's a moderate amount of wits required, isn't it? Yeah, so most people can do it. Come and see Danny, it's fun. Thank you to our STTRs, Wendy and Laura, who are providing the live text transcription. Laura's here for the very first time, so she's got lots of new Python to learn, and it's very tricky. For example, when somebody's talking about something like parsing, for example, because you have to parse things all the time in programming. And I mean parsing as in parsing rather than parsing as in parsing. But of course, actually sometimes you have to parse things in the other sense of parse too. You might have to parse in a string that then has to be parsed. And getting it right every time the speaker says the word parse is quite a feat, because in fact the STTR must indeed herself parse what is being said. And all these terms then fly past at quite a rate sometimes. So they do a fantastic job, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you, as always, to our sponsors who make this possible, who carry much of the financial burden of this conference. Thank you to everyone who works at City Hall for hosting us each year, for the AV team. It's that there in the corner, we've got a team of 1, but it takes a lot of people to set this up and make it work for all these days. Thank you to everybody who's contributing to the conference by running a workshop, giving a talk, running a session of some kind. All these people give their time to us for free, and we're very grateful for that. Thank you, whoever you are, for being here, for being part of this event. I'll repeat, you've heard this already, that we have a code of conduct which requires us to behave towards one another with respect, courtesy, and kindness. You can read the full text on the website. If there are any issues or concerns, if there's something that you're worried about, you can contact us through one of the official means. We have a documented procedure for handling this, and we take it very seriously. And we're pleased to have your reports. One issue that we deal with is that although this venue does not have gender-neutral toilets, they are marked ladies and gentlemen, what we ask is that everybody use whichever facility they feel is most appropriate and comfortable for them, and that everybody else leaves them in peace to do it. That's not negotiable, that's just the way we do things here. So nobody is to be harassed or bothered or questioned. If you have any questions about that, you may come and speak to me about it. We have a photographer working hard at the event. Where's Mark? He's around somewhere. There he is. You too may, of course, take photographs. If you're wearing a blue lanyard, it means, if someone is wearing a blue lanyard, it means they are happy to be photographed. A yellow lanyard means they'd rather not be, so please try to avoid photographing them and publishing their photographs. And people with red lanyards are either conference committee or volunteers. You can photograph them. We have a quiet room for anybody who needs to take a break. It's at the opposite end of the marble hall in the Cardiff Council chamber. And it's intended really to be a quiet place where, not for talking or anything else, just for being there quietly. Many of our speakers take questions after their talks. We would appreciate it very much if they were offered actual questions in the form of questions that the speaker can answer that, and give you some information, knowledge, or wisdom that you didn't already know. So no comments or discussions or observations, just questions, please. You can, of course, offer your observations and so on privately afterwards. Lunch. Now, we had some difficulties over the last couple of days with lunch, and we were really sorry to hear that a couple of people had bad experiences, not more than a couple of people, a few people had bad experiences and didn't want to wait for their lunch time sitting and went out to get a sandwich. So we don't want that to happen. That's not our intention. So we've spoken to the venue, to the caterers here, to try and come up with a solution that will work a bit better. If you look at your badge, it says what time your lunch sitting is. If it says A, then please come at 1 o'clock as normal. If it says B or C, come at 1:30, whatever time it says on your badge. If, for whatever reason, you need to eat earlier, please come at 1 o'clock. Just say to the person who's checking badges on the door, I need to eat earlier. You don't need to explain why. You don't need to justify yourself. You know why you might need to eat earlier, and that's good enough for us. So we hope that this will work as a way of ensuring that everybody turns up to lunch and finds fresh food available for them in adequate quantities. So to recap, those are the times that we'd like you to try to arrive at. If you need to come earlier, please do. And it also helps you if you arrive on the half hour rather than halfway through. Then you'll find that there's fresh food out. Please come and talk to us. If there are still problems, there's a feedback channel on the Slack groups that you can also use to let us know how that has worked. So I hope that's an improvement for you. And again, apologies to anybody who was affected by it yesterday. We hope that won't happen again. Lightning talks. Mark, do you have a minute to just tell people about the lightning talks?
I do indeed. I have the privilege of running the best bit of PyCon UK every day. So at 5:30 every day, we have the lightning talks. They are a series of 5-minute talks. They're an especially good opportunity for new speakers to speak to the rest of the Python community for maybe the first time. To that end, we have 2 buckets by the registration desk. The green one says new speakers. So if you consider yourself a new speaker, please write out a description of your talk and your name on an index card, which will be next to the buckets, and put it in the new speaker bucket. If you are a more experienced speaker, please write out an index card and put it in the everyone else bucket. Now, already today, we have a bunch of submissions, but they're all in the experienced speaker bucket. And I want to make sure there are more new speakers. So please, please submit a talk so that we have more of the newer members of our community maybe speaking this afternoon. And I will see you at 5:30.
Thank you, Mark. Mark, do you honestly think that this is better or more glamorous than speaking about toilets every day?
We did have a lightning talk about toilets.
We did have a lightning talk about toilets. You are warmly and eagerly encouraged to consider yourself as a lightning talk speaker, especially if you have never spoken at a conference before, because it's a kind of gateway drug for conference speaking. So you come and do a lightning talk and you'll find out how much fun it is, how much you get from it, and how much people will appreciate what you have to say. And you've got 5 minutes. It's like a pop song. If you don't like it, there'll be another one in a minute. So there's rarely harm done in a lightning talk, although let's not make that into a challenge. We really welcome new speakers on this stage. It's really nice to hear from their proposals. What's happening today? Well, we have our schedule, which is always up to date, so please refer to that to find out what's happening where. Starting at the end of the day this evening, there will be the Code Dojo hosted by Tom and Daniel. Where's Daniel's there? Tom's somewhere else. 7:30. There'll be a pizza van outside, a good pizza van, and a bar downstairs open from as soon as the conference finishes. So, Daniel, do you want to come and quickly say what a Code Dojo is for people who don't know?
So we're going to run a London-style Code Dojo. So if you have been to a Code Dojo that was of the form where you do TDD and you solve a problem by pairing and formal methods, that is not at all what we do. We break into groups and we solve an inventive problem in inventive ways, and then we come back together and we show and tell each other what we created and try to make each other laugh. So that's a lot of fun. I heartily recommend it to you. See you this evening.
We have a Python hardware showcase in room A at 10:30. It's Carlos. Who's? I don't see him here. Okay, that's in room A down there. So if you've got anything that you want to share or show in hardware on Python, be in room A at 10:30. That will be after today's keynote. In our lunch hour and a half rather, the jobs fair will be in the Marble Hall, so that our sponsors will, many of them are here because they have job opportunities. Come and talk to them and find out what they have to offer you. And now we're going to move on to our keynote talk. So I'll invite Chuck to come on stage and we'll get her set up, and then we can get started with the program of the day. So thank you.